Zaku is up early. He's up early. He's doing something early. Yeah, as opposed to late, right? I don't know. I can never get this right. Okay, give me a second here. I'm still getting everything kind of live. Pushing a tweet here now. Looks like everything's good. I'm just gonna send it. Send it. Okay, got that sent over. The stream is live here. Let me also pull up our lovely stream here. Where's my Twitch thingy? I should be able to see all you lovely folks. Here we go. And it shows I'm live. Cool. I can see whenever anybody's going to be speaking out loud here. I know I'm starting early here, so we give it a little bit of time. We'll do about 2 or 3 minutes. We got a lot in store today. So I mean, I only have one review, like I've already mentioned on the tweet, and if you're watching the live stream, then you kind of have an idea what's gonna happen. So far we have is I'm gonna have my one review. We have a Gundam Reconguista and G. I keep calling it Reconguista and G or Rico G, but the full name is just that. After that review, I realized that a day ago or so, I guess Gundam Evolve was announced or released, and there was like a closed beta or whatnot. So I got a trailer I want to review and give you guys my reaction to that one. Kind of excited. I heard some things about it, so I got some thoughts on it. Alongside with, and I just found out today, Super Robot Wars 30, which I read a little bit about just before, so just getting everything kind of prepped and readied up. Really excited for that too. So I'm stoked to actually watch the trailer and see what it is. I have an idea of what it pretty much is, but not entirely certain. Okay. And looks like we got everything kind of going here. Bingo. Bada bing, bada boom. Not sponsored in any way. I don't got any sponsors at the moment. I'm really light. But I'm drinking some peace tea. Got me a snowberry this time. And just to make sure everything's good before we launch off too, gotta take care of the Digimons. Yeah, I got my wife's and I got mine. It's like, well, why do you got two of them? I was like, yeah, I got. Apparently, well, not apparently, my wife is not going to be able to take care of hers at the same time because she's busy making the monies right now. I'm on my day off, and that's why I'm streaming. Alright, I'm also waiting for an evolution, but I don't even know when's going to happen at this point. My trajectory time is off right now. Anyways, looks like we're pretty much set here. And for those who don't know already, just to give you guys some preface, when I start each segment, because I am going to be cutting these into like 3 little segments or 3 little videos on YouTube, I will have an introductory and an outro itself. So if it sounds like I'm closing off the stream, I'm not closing off the stream. I'll let you know when I'm closing off the stream. But feel free to leave any comments or anything like that. I'm pointing over here because that's where my Twitch is at, or I can see my little thingy right here. Alongside with, leave any comments you want to leave, or if you want to shout out or whatnot, please speak your mind. I want to hear you guys out, or, answer any questions or respond to anything in general. All right. I know it's super early. Zaku, why are you up early? Actually, when I was helping the wife getting herself prepped up for the afternoon, I could not go back to sleep. So I've been actually up I was up longer for the last few hours doing stuff. So I got everything done. And I was like, oh, well, you know what? Might as well just start streaming earlier, about 30 minutes earlier, so that way if the wife gets home earlier, no more, intrusions or cut-ins. Not me stopping and then having my little AFK screen for you guys. Anyways, I've been talking too long. It's almost been 5 minutes. So, with that said and done, let us begin. Hey there, and welcome to another Nerdy Reviews. I'm your host, Zaku, or, the Absolute Nerd. I'm not sure how I want to go. You know what? scratch all that. Let me restart all of that one. I do not know how I want to keep calling myself, to be honest. I had my moniker for Zaku for so many years. Not that everyone really calls me Zaku necessarily, other than by my handle. So it's kind of weird trying to do the whole absolute nerd stuff. Anyways. Hey there, and welcome to another Nerdy Reviews. I'm the absolute nerd, but you can also call me Zaku. And today, we're going to be reviewing Gundam Reconguista in G. Now, before I begin with anything with this review, let me just give you this quick little spiel here. If you are watching this on Twitch, make sure to follow me on my Twitch channel. If you're watching on YouTube, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment down below. I want to hear something from you guys. Let me know what you guys think about my opinion on the show, or what you thought about the show in general. Did it suck? Was it awesome? Was I right? Was I wrong? Tell me what you think down below. That said, let's go ahead and begin with the review. So, like I do with all my reviews so far, let me just start off with the story at the moment here. Hi there, Doge. I just saw your little message right here. An absolute god of hot blood. I don't know if I got that shonen blood in me. But then again, I am wearing my armor, so yes. Anywho, so just to give you guys the story of Reconguista in G. So this is another series that's still within that UC timeline, but we're outside of that time frame. So roughly 1,000 years after the end of the Universal Century, and we're coming into the Regaled Century at 1014. After a space pirate attack on a space elevator, I'm sorry here. I got my mind kind of lost. I'm like, what is it? Oh, the Capitol Guard. There's so many factions in this series, and I'll get that in a little bit too, but there's so many factions. I'm trying to remember who's who and what's what, and it throws everything off. But okay, again, with the story, we are done with the UC century, but we're still in the UC timeline, roughly 1,000 years after the end of the UC timeline, or UC century, sorry. And we are in the Regaled Century, 1014, after a space pirate attack on a space elevator. Capitol Guard trainee Bellary here is drawn into a conflict between Earth and space forces. That is the basic gist of this. It gets a little bit more complex and convoluted. I'm going to try and give you guys a lot of info without spoiling the entire series for you guys. So some fun factors about I'm going to call it Reconguista G. I don't want to call it Gundam Reconguista G. It's just too blah of a name. Or Rico G. Let's call it Rico G. Rico G is a 26-episode series that was originally released and created in 2014. This is actually a well-known series, not because of for what it is, but what it had brought back. Yoshiyuki Tomino, the grandfather of Real Robot, returns to the Gundam franchise after a 15-year hiatus. From what I can understand here, the last series, and I'm saying series specific, that he did in the Gundam franchise was back in 1999 with Turn A Gundam. Funny enough, this will be something I'll be reviewing right after Rico G. Now, with Rico G, it's got some fun things right here, alongside with the return of Yoshiyuki Tomino to not only write, but direct this series. We also get some returning people from previous Gundam series as well. One thing I want to kind of talk about is a little bit of the animation here. Let me show you guys a little something too from the series itself. The series animation's not entirely bad. It's actually really, really good animation. I would say it's very fluid and very modern-esque looking. Granted, it is a 2014 series, so it's going to be looking just like most modern 2010s plus series. The animation, though, looks kind of familiar at points in times. When I was watching it, too bad I don't have any screenshots of the buildings or anything like that. The closest I would get is what I have for mechs or what I could pull online. But the animation very much felt like a Studio Ghibli animation, like something from a Studio Ghibli film. A lot of the architecture and structures has that Ghibli whimsical look. I would even say same thing with the character expressions and faces. You can't really tell, obviously, in these screenshots here, but there's some expressions where they got like really wide mouths or like reactions. Kind of reminds me of Ponyo, for an example. I bring this up though because, funny enough, a animator from Studio Ghibli actually worked on the character designs here that we're seeing right now. And forgive me, I'm mispronouncing his name here. It's Kenichi Yoshida. Now, he had previously actually worked with Tomino here on the last Gundam series that they worked on together, which was Turn A Gundam. He also did the character designs for that too, which, oddly enough, and I'm still kind of watching Turn A at the moment here, the character designs and the designs and everything else look very much the same, but there's a lot more liveliness here with the characters. We can't see it. Again, I don't have great screenshots, but we get a lot of liveliness with our characters in this series. A lot of facial expressions, a lot of that Ghibli whimsical kind of look. Really fits a lot with the series aesthetics and overall. In addition to that, too, the music in this series is not that bad for the most part. Actually, there's always like kind of like that main theme or theme song that kind of goes out throughout the entire series. Again, I use that word whimsical, and that's the best way I can describe it. It feels very whimsical, very fantastical, almost festival-like. We hear that oftentimes throughout the entire series. We do get other types of music, but even with that kind of music, it kind of feels like a Zelda whimsy, if that makes sense. Like the battle music that you would hear in battle sequences, like if you play any modern Zelda games, like Ocarina of Time onward, you would kind of get that like, or not orchestral, but kind of like a festival-esque with orchestral kind of music. That's the best way I can describe it. Again, fits the tone and atmosphere of the series overall. So, trying to stay positive, and it's kind of hard because I started us off. I sound very positive about the series, and this is all the good things I really have to say about the series. The looks, the music, the atmosphere is very pleasant, very nice. Whimsical is the key word here. I will also say that the series also does a lot of nods towards the Universal Century. So keep in mind that this is a series that was made 15 years after Turn A Gundam. Turn A Gundam was considered the final Gundam series. Like, if you could watch all the Gundam series, the entire Gundam franchise, if you're going to end it off on one, you're going to end it off on Turn A Gundam, because that's going to tie everything together and somehow pop it back into Turn A. There is controversy between Turn A Gundam and Gundam Rico. I will cover that in a separate stream or video, but for right now, we're just going to talk about Rico G. And specifically with Rico G, because it's taking place so many years later in real time, not what we're talking about in the series or franchise-wise, timeline-wise too. They do quite a bit of harkening back to the Universal Century, making direct references to the Universal Century. There was mentioning of new types a couple of times, and there were a couple of shots of seeing like old areas or whatnot, semi-spoilers, like coming across a old entry point into Jaburo and seeing like rusted Zagox, or Zox. Yeah, Zagox, sorry. Zagox. But yeah, that was pretty much it. I mean, it kind of ties it in with the Universal Century, but not by a whole lot. The next somewhat positive thing I want to talk about is the action in this series. Considering that this is kind of like a Turn A alike series, there's a lot of action. Almost every single episode there is not without action, which is actually a big positive going for this series. A lot of the action is fun. I wouldn't say it's really intense. I would say it's more interesting to watch. Definitely fun though. The only issues I have with some of the fights is what ties it along with the convoluted plot lines and the characters, and I'll get to that, but sticking to just the fights alone, they're fun. They're enjoyable. I do have to say, though, with the main titular mobile suit, I can't say titular because it's not in the title of the series, but the G-Self, Oftentimes, because we have different backpacks for it, reminds me a lot like the Ale Strike from the Seed series. You can almost say the same thing with certain other suits from other series as well. But I felt like some of the fights can be kind of gimmicky at times because the G Self has, again, multiple backpacks, from the reflector backpack to a tricky backpack to an assault backpack, a space backpack, a perfect backpack. You kind of get what I'm saying. A lot of those fights tend to be very gimmicky around that particular backpack. Some of them we don't even see again at all. So it's like, okay, they were kind of like a fun one-off. Was it successful? Was it going to be any good? Was anything going to come out of it? I shrug, and that's going to bring me to my next part about this entire series. And I'm trying to be very nice to this series because I'll tell you guys, I'm going to be very, very honest with you. Is that when I came into Rico G, the first time around I had to watch this series was an absolute travesty of a mess. I do have to say, the second time around, it's a lot better, but I'm not saying by a whole lot. Because the problem is that I remember that when I first impressions of Rico G, when I first watched it, was this is younger Zaku playing games and doing other things while watching a series that's subtitled only. It was slow at first, and then later on completely an absolute garbled up mess that I could not understand. It was going at like Arrow, like Warner Brothers Arrow series, going at neck breaking speeds with that series. It did not leave a pleasant taste in my mouth. I did not like the series at all. It was not palpable, and I was like, what was I watching? What's going on here? So that was younger me, right? Coming into this now, again, paying 100% attention to this series, not being disrespectful and, how I normally am with other series or movies or whatnot, just like put on television or whatnot. That's it. No. So with the attention here, the problems still persist. It wasn't something that was what I just picked on because I wasn't paying attention. No, there was a serious problem with this series. So the first and biggest thing I want to talk about is the pacing of this series. So Rico G does something kind of interesting. Again, like I mentioned, it's like a Turn A clone almost. The first 13 episodes kind of takes that similar pace that I had seen with Turn A in the past, where it's very story-driven or plot-driven, and it's very slow, methodical, giving us time with our characters and the story, trying to build everything up, or the mysteries around certain things too. Unlike Turn A, though, we get a lot of action, episode by episode by episode. That was kind of nice, though. So everything was just tying in very well, giving some excitement alongside with the intrigue about what's going on, or even the political theater of what's going on in this series. That all changes after the midway point. So I'd say at episode 13, this pace, which was moderately fast but slow still, completely gets to episode 13, and I want to say really hits by episode 16, and bam! It's like, wait, what was I just watching? Because all of a sudden, from episode 16 all the way to 26, those 10 episodes were at neck-breaking speeds. And it was super odd and weird how that series just took off like that. When it took off like that, it started doing a lot of funny and weird things. And the funny and weird things, I don't know how to put it. It reminds me a lot like other Gundam series or movies, kind of like I would say this more like compilation films in a lot of the Gundam franchise, where they're trying to go so fast and tell a story. And by 16 to 26, we're going at neck-breaking speeds of telling this story, and it's as if Tomino was trying to race and get to the finish line on time, and literally blitzkrieg and just bashes through everything and knocks everything out of its way. And what gets knocked out of the way are a lot of the plot lines, subplot lines, and characters. A lot of this just gets wrecked. Again, I'm trying not to spoil too much, but it's kind of hard. So episodes 1 through 13 kind of builds up this kind of like intrigue or plot about like, you know, the conflict between Earth and space still, and trying to establish some like things about like taboos and what's forbidden in that time frame. Sorry about that. After that point, and we kind of get towards episode 13, we get character developments too, but by that point, 16 onward, certain characters, certain plot lines, and definitely the main plot line itself, it's as if it's being shredded out of the book or out of the script and goes like, all right, so this happens, throw this way, that happens, oh, that character, forget that character, let's move on. Okay, and here we are, and there we are, we're at the end. Awesome. That's the whole entire story. That's what it felt like. So characters like, for an example, I'm going to bring up is, if I'm saying her name correctly, Raria. I can't pronounce. I'm terrible at pronouncing names, or even Japanese names too. Raria Monday is her name. First 13 episodes is a mystery, and then all of a sudden, 16 onward, okay, mystery's revealed, and then she's a completely throwaway character. She's like wallpaper at this point. Nothing amounts to what the reveal was. Our relationships between Bellary, and I don't have a picture of her right now, but Ida, their relationship and everything like that, toss out the window. Their actions and motives between Bellary's and then Ida's, we even get some other characters too, toss that out the window. What about Mask and Manny? I'm naming characters, right? And I'm trying not to spoil too much, but like motivations between characters like this, throw them out the window. We got coups. We got different Reconguistas. Now, for those who don't know, Reconguista, they're trying to do this Spanish terminology, like conquest, right? So like a reconquest of Earth. But there's like multiple, they even say it in the series, they're called Reconguistas. They have the operation for a Reconguista. But there's multiple Reconguistas and different sides and factions. So at the beginning, again, first 13 episodes, we got 2 factions. And we kind of talk about a third one. We got a little bit introduced into that one. Through 16 to 26, an additional, 2 to 3 more factions show up, from what I can understand here. That's where I'm like saying, like, it got confusing, it got convoluted, and felt very contrived at points, where characters were doing stuff that previously didn't make sense of why they were doing what they're doing. They're being forced into doing it, so it's like it's more of a writer's kind of a choice, kind of a thing, but why? Those sort of things. There are also the hypocrisies within the series itself. So, with the Gundam franchise being infamous for a lot of its core elements and themes that's persistent through the entire franchise, this one tends to contradict itself a lot. Where it's talking about how we can develop as peacetime, but then we're also warlike, and then everyone's calling each other warlike when they're warlike themselves. I'm talking about, like, in specific, like, I call it GIT, but it's the GIT, like G-IT is the name of this one faction, I guess, and they're doing their own Reconguista, or maybe maybe I'm misunderstanding, and I'm paying attention, by the way, I'm paying attention. Maybe they're part of the Reconguista with Towasawaga, I can't pronounce the name of it. This is how confusing it got. It got very confusing, very fast. But it just didn't make sense with why certain things were happening, what was going on, and the actions. And can I just say it's a mess and move on? Seriously, it drives me nuts, and not trying to spoil. I'm between trying to tell you guys stuff and not wanting to spoil things for you guys. Super side note, my Digimon finally evolved. I finally got from Koromon to my Agumons, and now I gotta work them all the Devilmons. Yeah, I'm off kilter, off the review. I am trying to raise our Digimon because I want to actually get full libraries for the both of us, so we can get some pretty cool stuff, like race some like high-end final evolution. I'm not super keen on Digimon, neither is my wife, but we want to get like those super high-end cool ones. So she's like, do what it takes, Zaku, do what it takes. Okay, take care of my Digimon, bye. Thanks, hon. Okay. Aside from all of that, actually, here we go. I do have a picture of Ida right here. I had major problems overall with this series. Is just, again, first half nicely paced, well enjoyable. A lot of things started making sense, building up mystery, building up the plot, building up the factions. 16 to 26, throw all that out of the window, basically. We get ideas of factions already existing, and then they introduce more factions that had less screen time than what we originally had between Earth and space. It's just frustrating. Other frustrating things too were like characters themselves. Overall, Aida, who is our main heroine, is what I would guess we would put it. Super frustrating. I mean, we've had other characters, like other pilots, who are absolutely useless or garbage. And I don't like how it's kind of strange about how Tomino writes about like a lot of strong female characters, and then we have a female character who has a pretty good, like an interesting, I'm not pretty good, but an interesting story, and we don't really get much development from her. In fact, everything that develops about her kind of went down but after episode 13. Like everything, just throw her out the window. She's just there. She is a pretty garbage pilot though, which is sad because she pilots a pretty decent looking suit. I can't call it a Gundam really, but it's called the G Arcane, and she's using a sniper unit. But my god, it's like watching a newbie playing a FPS and trying to play sniper for the first time. That's what it's like watching Ida fight for the most part. She's just usually there, kind of causes problems for a lot of people, and doesn't really provide a lot of support. Sometimes she does, but isn't, which is kind of sad. I'm like, can fix this, can get this better, but not really. And then her story doesn't improve. So that's pretty much it. I'm trying not to spoil too much about Rico G. I'm trying again to keep these reviews, of interest, but then again, I might want to spoil it for you guys. I don't know. So that's pretty much the main problems I had with Rico G. Was just, again, that pacing, which then destroys everything of the convoluted plot with contrived characters. I don't have a whole lot good to say about it because really all the good gets marred by what the bad is. So I'm just going to go ahead and just jump over to our next segment here. One that some of you are already familiar with, which is favorite suits of the series. Sorry about that, guys. All right. So for those of you who don't know, with the Gundam franchise, every single Gundam series introduces a brand new set of suits, redesign of suits, battleships, those sort of things. Rico G is no different from any other series. In fact, it's one of the few, no, not few, but one of the many series that brings them a lot of new mechs and designs. Now, keeping in with the Universal Century, I do want to say with the late UC Century suits, a lot of them tend to be uglier designs. Rico G has some pretty, I would say a lot of them are interesting designs, but the other half of the designs are pretty ugly. And they are very reminiscent of suits that you would see like in F91 or in Victory Gundam. Just to show you some examples of these, right? Look at the beef run. This thing is a ugly monstrosity. My god. How it actually moves around is beyond me, but I mean, ugly suit. We are first introduced in the series with the Rectons, which are pretty bland looking like box heads. Makes me think of Conti from FLCL at times. Super weird. We also get the now these are usually like akin to mobile workers, where they are just suits that are used to do labor work. They do have some combative capabilities, but then we also get the army version of them, which is the Rex Snow, and they're equipped with like a little bit more heavier artillery, more thrust capabilities, and more offensive capabilities overall. Still not a great design, but just want to show you that. Now we're gonna get to some of the now. It's hard to say what site's good because they're just like Gundam. No site is truly good and no site is truly bad. But Rico G doesn't make it very clear about who's right or who's wrong necessarily. There are some anti-American sentiments, what I can get from it at times too. But for the most part, there's no real good side. It's mostly like just staying neutral. But with our spacesuits, yeah, look at this monstrosity. Woo! Yeah, you see what I'm saying though? It looks very much, if you looked at my previous reviews or in the favorite suit section of those reviews, very reminiscent of some designs that you would see very similar to what's in Victory or F91, specifically head and then the arm designs. The torsos are unique to this series, but man, some ugly stuff. Let's get to another ugly one. Ugh. Well, you can't see it. I wish I can get this better, but like I don't want to zoom in. I don't want to mess up my little screen itself. But the chin portion looks like a Gundam chin. So when I was watching, this is Raria Monday's suit later on, 16 onward. I thought this thing would come off and it would become like a Gundam head, very similar to like the Gushin Gundam or Gushin Gundam rebaked in Iron-Blooded Orphan. No. This is what the suit looks like, and it is ugly. Ugly. My god. Alright. One more ugly suit before we get to some cool looking ones. I just gotta horrify you guys. Zax. Yeah, look at that thing. It's like a Saikamu Zaku mixed in with Crossbone Gundam, thrown in with some Zanskar Empire / Crossbone Vanguard designs. Yeah. Psycho Zaku, Crossbone Gundam, and then you got your Zanskar / Crossbone Vanguard look. Ugly design, ugly suit. Yeah. Man. I think this is guy right here, the Ipe Gyobu. I think he also did another mecha series. I can't remember. When I was looking up factoids for this series, his name had popped up a couple of times. I didn't realize he was the one that designed some of the uglier ones. Hey, someone out there is gonna find this one beautiful, but me, I just don't like the design. All right, how about some good suits? Suits that I liked, right? First one I want to talk about, and I mentioned it already, was the G Arcane. G Arcane was a pretty cool looking suit. In fact, it reminds me, I actually tried to look it up, but it's not exactly the same. Reminds me of like the GN Archer from Gundam 00. Just because the shielding, the back fins / shielding reminds me of it. And the coloring a bit too. I'll bet the GN Archer is more red, and this is very orangish with light pink. Very cool design. I liked it. Unfortunately, as I mentioned about Aida, she's absolutely garbage as a sniper and doesn't fully utilize the G Arcane to its potential. In fact, I just feel like she just kind of stands there and really doesn't do anything, which is sad. But it's a cool design. I really like the design of the suit. The Montanero, which is the suit for Klimnik, if I'm saying his name correctly here. Really cool design. It reminds me a lot like almost, again, some 00 designs and definitely something from Zeta Gundam. The wings here, actually, if you can kind of see it here, they hold his swords or javelins. Puts them together and then creates like these like beam sabers individually, like dual wielding, or a beam javelin which he throws. Pretty cool. Its flight capabilities are really nifty and neat. I like it, and it kind of has like a little bit of a knight-esque look to it, so like a flying knight. neat design. There is a mass production version, which is more of a browner. Let me see if I can show you guys the mass production. It's not terrible. Oh, no, yeah, a little bit of browner, but it's just the green. Kind of like Zaku's. Zaku green. But nothing really matches up, and I'm saying her name correctly. It's Mick Jag. Her Heket suit is awesome. So this thing is a machine gun. You can't really tell because it doesn't really show, but this thing's like something straight out of Gears of War almost. Just not like a true Lancer rifle, right? But it's more like a machine gun, and then at the very end of this thing is actually a beam chainsaw. Really cool to watch this suit in action and how she utilizes it. Such a really awesome, cool design and fighting capabilities. Shame that she just kind of chucks it away for the newer suits that they get at the end of the series, which, in my opinion, were garbage designs and garbage suits themselves. It might have gotten beaten up, but you know this was such a really neat suit. Now, just like every other series, it's almost hard not to talk about a Gundam series without talking about the Gundam. And I really like the G-Self. It's a very, really nice, sleek, smooth design for the most part. A lot of smooth textures, nothing really too sharp on it. The headpiece is very unique because the V, instead of like the traditional Gundam V, it's more like rabbit ears, almost kind of like a jackal or like a deer almost. The Core Fighter, we only see like a couple of times. Throw that away. I don't care for Core Fighter stuff. But what I really cared about was just the overall suit design. It looks really cool and neat. And I talked to you guys earlier about the fighting of this series, the action, and how it has a lot of backpacks. So I kind of want to just show you the backpacks. Spoilers, but not really a whole lot of spoilers behind them because some of them you don't ever see again. So I do mention that I like the G-Self, but there is one particular one I really do like, but we'll get to it. So like, for an example, we have the Atmosphere backpack, which it's funny enough, I do have a little Converge figurine of this one too. I love the design of it. It's funny, I say I love this one, yet I hate the Ale Strike. I secretly like it. Don't you tell anybody about that. I will disown all of you. No. But I actually do like the kind of design because it kind of gives it kind of like a fighter pilot look almost, like a jet with a Gundam. I'm going to close that one out. Then we get the High Torque pack, which I thought these were machine guns. They are not. It's just like extra verniers that launches the Gundam. It's okay, very gimmicky. We have the other one here, which is the Tricky pack, which is weird. It's a weird functioning suit or functioning backpack. Again, gimmicky. The Space backpack is basically the upgraded version of the Atmosphere one. Space backpack actually is not that bad of a design. I actually kind of like it because it complements the original suit itself very well. We get to something that's going to be kind of... No, never mind. I thought it was the other one. We got the Reflector pack, which was... Okay, now it's kind of funny. You notice that in the Tricky backpack too, some of the backpacks changes the color of this suit, which is kind of weird. But the Reflector one... Alright. Again, gimmicky as well. Can't get any more gimmick than the Assault backpack. This is the one we do see a lot frequently. Not frequently, but we do see it frequent a lot, alongside with the Space backpack, Atmosphere backpack a few times, I think. This thing's kind of gaudy looking and all that, but out of all the backpacks, can't say my favorite is not the Perfect backpack. I think the only thing I don't like about the design of the Perfect backpack is that it gives us like this little extra little padding on the shoulder and has this weird little like lightning or energy symbol on the shoulders. I think it could be done without it because it would look really nice overall, but I really like the Perfect backpack. It gives a lot of character to the G-Self and its fighting and functioning capabilities. So if I'm going to say my favorite suit of this entire series, definitely is going to be the G-Self with the Perfect backpack. If not, the G-Self by itself is a great looking suit. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and jump into our next segment here, which is I'm new to Gundam. Should I watch this series first? No. I'm just trying to give it a little bit of a delay there, but definitely no. If it wasn't already alluded enough in my review, maybe I'm too positive. I feel like I sounded too positive in it, at least. But definitely no. I would not recommend watching Reconguista first as your first foray to the Gundam franchise. Kind of contradicts some of the things I've said in the past before, because some things I would always say is a good thing to watch when going into the Gundam franchise. It's like a one-off series or like self-contained series. Reconguista is very self-contained. Yes, it makes references to Universal Century, and they make little knockbacks, but they don't play very pivotal or important towards the franchise, to the series itself, other than like alluding, oh yeah, our past was a bad past and stuff like that. We want to make a better future, that sort of thing. Really is not big of a deal. But why I'm saying no is for all the reasons I had mentioned why this series was already bad. It, again, doesn't set a good expectations or standards when going into the overall Gundam franchise. This series will set a very bad expectation for you. Again, the first half of the series is decently paced with action and a lot of intrigue and plot placed in there. And then the last 10 episodes throw most of that away. Goes at neck break speeds. Even I, who's watched majority of the Gundam franchise multiple times, had and this is, I mean, I can keep an eye on different factions and understand what's going on. I could not even keep up with the different factions, different motives, different operations of these factions in this series. That's how confusing it got at those last 10 episodes. Character motivations and actions blew my mind and go like, why are you doing this? What reason are you doing this for? Where did this come from? Those sort of things. A lot of things just did not make sense, and makes that last part of the series a difficult ride to get into. Made me not care at all, and I was just kind of like watching it at this point, like, all right, that's some fun fighting, that's some fun action, cool. Let's move along. I had lost most of my interest by like episode 20. If that gives you even context. Everything that the first 13 episodes build up to, give it a few episodes, and then when it shifts gears into episode 16 onward, you just end up throwing everything that was built up out of the window, and that doesn't set a good standard, doesn't set a good expectation when you're going to go watch another Gundam series after this. So definitely, no, this is not a series to pick up for your first Gundam. Oh, I like to do my little transitions here. And for anyone who's new to the viewing too, it sounds like I'm going to be ending this. I still got other things I'm going to be doing. This is again going to be put on my YouTube. So just letting you guys be aware about that for those who just jumping into the stream. Anyways, let me try and get my transition right. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to do it on the mic. Crap. Very good directional mic. Very good. I gotta do it over here. Anyways. So, with all of that said, Reconguista had a lot of promising premise as a new future series in the Universal timeline, helmed by the grandfather, the legendary Yoshiyuki Tomino. And while the series does have some fantastic animation, mecha designs, and interesting fights, the neck-breaking pace that the series goes midway through, the convoluted plots, the nonsensical characters, and their motivations, alongside with the oh my god, I got ahead of myself. I apologize. I'm gonna redo all that one. So I have, for those, and I got my notes here. I just got notes, but the overall I give is actually a nice critique paragraph. So it's kind of hard for me to deliver that when I've been talking off kilter. No, not necessarily off kilter. I I don't have anything to go off of besides notes, little snippets, and I can talk what I want. This is something I want to keep. If there's anything you're going to leave away with, at least, I want you to leave away with that nice overall of the series. Keeps everything nice and neat. Anyway, so for the overall, though, Rico G had a lot of promise for it as a future new Gundam series to the Universal Century timeline, written and directed with the return of the... Oh man, I fudged that one. It's helmed by the legendary grandfather of Real Robot. Fun factor, he is the legendary Real Robot grandfather because of Gundam, if some of you don't know about that. Here we go again. Alright, and as for the overall of this series, Rico G had a lot of promise for the premise. Okay, here we go. Third time's the charm, right? Or was this the fourth time? I lost count. Anywho, as for the overall of the series, Rico G had a lot of promise for it being a brand new series or future series in the Universal timeline, written and directed with the return of legendary... You get all the bloopers live. Now, imagine this if I was actually doing this like my other videos like I did in the past with YouTube. Didn't get much bloopers. You're gonna get all the live bloopers here. I'm trying to keep this right. Okay. Here we go. 3, 2, and as for the overall, Rico G had a promising premise of a new future series within the Universal timeline, helmed by the legendary godfather of Real Robot, Yoshiyuki Tomino. While the series had some fantastic animation, mecha designs, and interesting fights, the convoluted plots, the nonsensical characters, their motivations, and the awkward pacing of the series absolutely ruins and destroys all potential going for this series. It's sad to say that if Tomino was trying to create a Turn A clone, he should have stuck with just keeping it at Turn A and not doing what was a redo or maybe a Reconguista of Turn A. Gundam Reconguista and G gets a mediocre, really so-so, you could pretty much pass, but if you have to, 2 out of 5. Now, I have to say, I didn't mention it earlier on too, with my first impressions of the series, I actually gave the series a 1 out of 5. Rico G was very hard to watch past the 13th episode. Like, it got abysmally impossible. But if you were paying attention like I did the second time around, it was actually still an enjoyable watch with all the action and the fighting. As long as you turn your brain off and you start trying to make absolute reason about what's going on, who's good, who's bad, and why certain characters are doing certain things. If you just throw that all out the window and just watch it for the fights, it's a lot of fun. If you try to make sense of it, I promise you're going to be miserable like I was the first time around. And that was me not paying 100% attention. I'm goofing off, chatting with friends, playing games, and that sort of thing. So, definitely, I would say that I wouldn't recommend watching Rico G. If you really want to watch it, go for it. I don't think it's absolutely necessary, but unless you're trying to do, like, a timeline completion, right? It'd be part of the run. Now, if you haven't already, if you're watching this on Twitch, make sure to follow me on my Twitch account. If you're watching this on YouTube, like the video, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about my opinion on this series. What about what you thought about the series? Did you think I had a garbage opinion? Did you agree with me? Did you think that the G stuff looked awful? Did it look cool? What's your thoughts on this series? I want to hear from you guys. Leave a comment down below. That said, I do want to thank you all for sticking around and watching this episode of Nerdy Reviews. And until the next one, see you guys on the next review. Take care. Alright, and so that ends the review portion here. Let me get kind of set up here for the reactions. I have not actually done a reaction before. And I don't actually watch reaction videos. So I'm gonna just kind of have fun and wing this. So I'm gonna, again, for those who are jumping in here, I will kind of give a spiel, beginning and end, just like how it would be like for a YouTube video, because of course I'm gonna be chopping this up and putting it on my YouTube video. I just gotta keep giving disclaimers because people keep popping in and out. Don't want to leave you guys in the digital dust, and I don't want you guys to be confused about like, oh man, is Zaku ending the stream at this point? No. I'll let you guys know when I'm ending the stream. And definitely, if you guys are sitting back there and you're just, observing, that's cool. If you want to talk, leave a comment, say something. I love to respond to you guys, especially with this reaction. I'm kind of curious. I do not know what to think. Oh, I picked the wrong one. I want to do Gundam Evolution first. That said, welcome to another nerdy review. Oh, wait, it's not a nerdy review, it's a nerdy reaction. Welcome to a nerdy reaction. I'm the absolute nerd, but you can also just call me Zaku. And today, we're going to be doing a reaction on Gundam Evolution. Now, this was just announced about, 2 days ago, if I'm going based off of the teaser trailer released by Bandai Namco here. I've only heard about this just yesterday. And I heard that it's basically Overwatch for Gundam. I don't know what to expect for this, so what we're going to go ahead and do, I've never done a reaction video before, if you can't already tell. So I just want to have fun with this one. But I'm going to go ahead and play the video. And with that, let me just make this a little bit bigger because I don't want YouTube to get all mad and upset at me. So hopefully this will work. If not, I'm going to be sad. I'm going to cry a little and I'll learn a lesson. But I'm going to play the video here. And then, of course, my reactions and, of course, my thoughts on it. So, without further ado, let's jump in here. Let me max this. No, I don't want to max it out. That might be an issue here. So, definitely do this right here. Move that buffer up a little bit. Okay. All right. I'm actually really excited for this. I don't know if you guys can really tell. I'm actually really excited because hearing new Gundam games coming out excites me. I do know that there's going to be a closed beta for this only in Japan, but I'm hoping that it's going to come to the US because this will be awesome if it does. I hope. I don't know. All right, here we go. I'm like nervous. Okay, we got the Gundam. Whoa, what the? Alright. Kind of looks like thinking of Dynasty Warriors for some reason. Ashimar? Okay, this looks like War for Cybertron almost, dude. Oh, that was a Pale Rider. Okay, GM Sniper 2. Would a headshot really count on a mobile suit? Dom Trooper, okay. I don't know why they call him a Dom, but Dom Trooper. Maybe it's like a soldier with AoE. Ooh, Zazabi. Okay, what do we get? Throws an axe. Got some fun little action here. Ooh, okay. Doesn't look like he did a whole lot. Barbara. Okay, so we're getting out of UC. We got some AU stuff. Alright, got Barbados here. And dang! Oh, dude, that's so cool. Whoa, slow down. Oh man, that's pretty cool. Okay, here we go. So, dang. I wish I didn't talk too much while doing it or whatnot, but that was kind of interesting. Like, so seeing it through here, looks like the Gundam might be like a base level. Look at this. So here's the HUD. Oh yeah, it does look like Overwatch. And then we got the times. I don't know if that's like them coming back or is it like their energy regenerating. Looks like we have an ultimate right here and different abilities. So it looks like he can shield. We got the Gundam hammer. the beam rifle. I wonder if, like, because I'm thinking back to the extreme games. So I actually haven't played an extreme game not since well, it's the versus games actually. I never actually truly played extreme games because I played it was a Federation versus Xeon and then Gundam versus Zeta Gundam on the PlayStation 2. Yeah, I'm dating myself here. And then I remember playing on the PlayStation PSP. I bought from Fry's. It was an import of Gundam Battle Royale, and that was the start of the Extreme series, from what I can understand. And in some of the games, I know with Gundam versus Zeta Gundam, and I think also in Battle Royale, I could be wrong here. A lot of the weaponry was rechargeable, like with beam weapons. It was a recharge. So after you spend it all, you have to wait for it to recharge. Unless it had like a magazine, kind of like the Mark II, where you would insert a new magazine. It's funny they call it a clip, wrong, but you would, or you can call it an energy cap, because technically it is an energy cap. But reloading the beam rifles with only certain ones. So I'm curious whether or not, like, for example, in I think Gundam versus Zeta Gundam, or even the original Federation versus Xeon, the Gundam's beam rifle had a recharge. So I wonder if they do that, or you can just hit R and just reload off the bat. But the Gundam, I don't know if it's like a tank unit or not. It didn't look like it. Oh, let me turn down the volume. I apologize. So it doesn't look like he does a whole lot of damage. But he seems like a backline unit almost. It's kind of cool though. Yeah. Ashimar, I think it's kind of interesting that they went with the Ashimar as a transformable mobile suit. So I'm assuming that with the Ashimar, they're going to try to make a mobility class. I'm not huge on these hero-based games. I mean, I played Overwatch for like 2 years, I would say, before the whole Blizzard ordeals. I'm not going to get into that too much. I'm still boycotting Blizzard though. But I don't think, I'm trying to think, like, I'm trying to compare it to Overwatch, right? And I can't think of like a mobility class in Overwatch besides like a little bit of Black Widow or like Pharah, for an example. So I wonder if there's gonna be like a cooldown timer on the Ashimar. Let's just check it out a little bit here. It's so cool though. It can transform. So, oh yeah. So it looks like, okay. So based on here, we got a gauge, so more likely when it does transform and fly, kind of like, it's going to be like Pharah, basically. It has a limited time frame of when it can fly. I call shenanigans on that. We got the Ashimar's beam rifle. I'm assuming that's the transformation. I don't know what that could be. It looks like incendiary, and I have no idea what that is. And its special looks like some kind of like reloading. I'm not sure, or it could be an unloading kind of a thing. But let's see again. Ashimar flies. Has aerial superiority in a sense, and it looks like it did it like a dash. Oh crap! Come on. Was that the special? So it transformed. Yeah, that was the special it just used. So that special was like some kind of dash charge and went through several people. So that's pretty cool right there. GM Sniper. I swear, this looked like the Pale Rider from Missing Link. But I guess I couldn't tell the difference between a GM Sniper and the Pale Rider. But it looks like just like a standard sniping class. I just thought it was a little bit weird though when I was watching it. I can't tell if it was aiming at the body or head, so I'm like, it'd be interesting as I wonder how like they're gonna try. I say it's weird that they. Whoa! I did not catch that. There's Turn A in here, and there are Zaku's. Yes. Is that the Methus? We got a GM there. There's Barbados. Sniper here. Okay. And we got a gun tank. So there's a couple of other classes that we didn't see before that they do have it in here. Looks like probably they get the higher position on this one right here. I have no idea. Repairs. And the sniper rifle. My question though then would be like, so mobile suits, right? Headshots on an actual mobile suit in the series don't really do anything. In fact, all it does is just takes out their camera, which they can open up the cockpit if they want to and still operate the suit through there. Very seldom that shooting in the head actually matters. Like if we headshot the Zazabi, it makes sense because the cockpit is in the Zazabi's head, like in a Rick Diaz, for an example, too, or the Psycho Gundams. But does it make sense here? Like, he just headshots at Ashimar? It makes sense if you do, like, a body shot. I wonder if, like, instead of headshots, maybe if they made, like, specifically, like, a specific spot on the body, that if you get a shot right there, it would be a KO, and the headshots don't count. I don't know. It looks like it did a headshot to me, but if I wish I could slowly scroll, maybe, like, he was aiming at the body, and that was the recoil of the shot. I don't know. Next we had the DOMs. So let's just take a look at their interface. Oop. So look like it used its special there. Maybe it's like a boost. Obviously, it's got its bazookas, so anything with, you know, like explosives, it's probably gonna have splash damage. I was mentioning Soldier. I was talking more like Soldier from like not from Overwatch, but from Team Fortress 2, where, you know, the rockets have a splash damage behind it. Let me see if I can get a better shot of it. I wonder if it's gonna have its flashlighter. I don't know what they call it. It's not a beam spray, but it's like a flash, kind of like a flash grenade. It looks like it might be this one right here, and then I don't know what these two are. But it looks like it's just like some kind of base unit that does splash damage. Might be tankier too. I mean, look at the HP pool. HP pool is higher than the GM Sniper. Sniper looked like it would be taken out pretty easily. Oh yeah, there's our Zaku! Oh man, why didn't they show a Zaku? I wanted to see a Zaku! Come on! Okay, Zazabi was interesting. Like, I always thought it was cool, but didn't look that impressive in here. Okay, so pretty big health pool. It's pretty cool designing. I love that. We got the funnel for the special, the beam shotgun that it has. Looks like something for like GPS, and then I don't know what that is. Probably that's what he did earlier, because I remember seeing him throwing his beam tomahawk. So maybe that's what that was? Yeah, that's what that was. Oh, and then this one is for him to jump into the sky, so kind of like a Pharaoh almost. It almost seems like he functions like a Pharaoh getting launched off there. Zaku footage banned because Zaku is going to be the actual top tier. That's right. Fear the Zaku units, because they are the top tier. They are the backbone. I'm curious though. I'm like, okay, my projections at least for what I think a Zaku unit would be like. So, obviously we're gonna have the Zaku machine gun. If it has anything less than 100 rounds, I'm gonna be very disappointed. Should have the Cracklers or Crackler Special. Maybe have the missile pods on the legs. And I don't know what the third one could be. Maybe like a temporary like health and defense buff, right? Because if you think about it, I'm thinking like combining a Zaku 2 with Soldier 76, right? So he does have like a heal, but instead of a heal, how about more of a defensive health buff, right? Just temporarily. And then the special, two specials come into my mind. We need either a Zaku shoulder tackle that does like really good single damage, or if we have the Zaku 2 in Char's color, so a Zaku 2S, Char's kick, basically. I want to have a Char's Zaku kick. That's what I want for a Zaku 2. We won't know. Well, maybe there was a collage of screens, so maybe I can catch one. Who knows? But yeah, the Zazabi looks like another Pharaoh base unit almost. I can't tell from so far what I can see though. I couldn't tell what's a tank unit. Closest one was maybe the Gundam, because the Gundam had a shield icon. So maybe kind of like Reinhardt's shield, but only for a temporary amount. But Reinhardt's shield extends outward, and the Gundam shield only covers the Gundam as like a mid-sized tower shield. So I don't know how they're gonna have a tank unit. Here's another one, and riddle me this: how are we gonna have a healing unit? Because there's nothing in the universe besides mechanics that would repair suits. So what would be a repair unit in this game? closest thing that I can think of would be like the Devil Gundam. No way they're gonna fit that thing in here. But the Devil Gundam with the DG cells, because that makes sense, because the DG cells could repair the suits almost instantaneously. But I honestly can't think of what unit would be considered as a repair unit or like an engineer unit. I'll laugh if we actually had like a Medea class ship or like a Dobde kind of ship that they can repair at or something. Maybe we won't even get healer units. Maybe the best we'll get is like support units. Who knows? Then again, this game also kind of breaks certain things, so I don't know how close they're going to be realistic to just, you know, being a game itself. So they're going to balance some things out. I'm really curious. Next unit that we had, Barbados. Barbados looks just straight up melee, of course. He's got his iron mace here. Just look at him, just wreck shop. Yeah, there shouldn't be any number on this whatsoever. I'm surprised that he, considering that it's a very skeletal-based suit, yeah, maybe the HP makes sense. And most of the suits that are in Ironblood Orphans don't face against beam weaponry, so give or take. But it looks like he might be kind of like a Doomfist, where, because we see him jump up pretty high, and then he charged at somebody and bashed them, and then he came back over here, so, like, just to recap that right there. Oopsies. Let me see if I can give it a little bit further back. So I think he jumped up right? Yeah, jumps up, bam, smacks this guy, some special, charges this one, does another special. So, yeah, he seems like he'd be like a Doomfist kind of a character. I remember playing Doomfist a little bit. So my time frame when I stopped playing a little bit of Overwatch was right about when Doomfist got introduced. I think there was one. No, I stopped right around Doomfist, and then Sigma was introduced, and I played again. That was all before the boycott situation. But anyways, yeah, he seems very much Doomfisty. Doomfist was hard to use, but he was kind of fun. I think they nerfed him a couple of times or whatnot, from what I heard. Okay, so here's the collages. Let me see if I can... Do we get a Zaku? Come on, Zaku. Something we haven't seen. Something we haven't seen. Oh, let's get Duplicity. I'm not gonna catch it all. Alright, well that's Gundam Evolution. Let me just, just max that out, put it in the background here. Oh, I'll just keep it a larger screen. But that's Gundam Evolution. Looks really, really cool. Looks really, really awesome. I'm excited for it. They got some base level characters. I couldn't really figure out beyond most of them being a lot of either DPS and support based classes. I can't really figure out who really is going to be a tank. So far, and we saw what they showed majority of the roster, but based on some of the characters that we saw Turn A Gundam, we saw Zaku 2, and we also saw a Gun Tank. So probably another long range based character. Turn A, I can definitely see possibly being a tank or another support base, and Zaku being another like DPS based character. So that's gonna be pretty cool. Actually, I think Zazubi matches up with the potentially Ashimar as a mobility based class, but who knows? But it looks really, really cool. I know this is gonna be free to play. Like I mentioned earlier, there's gonna be a closed beta of this game. It's gonna be only in Japan. I remember seeing this, like, it was, like, on my Google phone when I saw, like, news for it. I'm like, oh, that's how I found about this. And, like, oh, they were doing, like, signups for the closed beta. I'm like, oh, I so want in this. And it was like, oh, it's closed to Japanese players only, and it's only in August. And I'm like, really? Really? Come on, Bandai Namco. Give us US players, or, like, other players internationally, too, some love. Because we love Gundam, too. I can't say as much as Japan does, but we love Gundam too. We want some of that, please. I know it's also gonna be free to play. I don't know if there's gonna be like subscriptions. I hope it doesn't go to free to pay to win, basically. You know, but if it's gonna be like a lot of those hero based games, it's gonna be probably the free to play, and you can buy cosmetics and stuff like that. So really looking forward to this game. Looking to hear a lot more about the news. Gameplay, more gameplay, not just footage, but the gameplay, like footage of individual suits, so we can get an idea of what these suits can actually do. And then, of course, like, I know it's way too early, but what future suits would they also introduce here? I thought when I first saw this, like, the first few suits that we saw were mostly UC based suits, but then we got now 2 AU units that we can see. We got Barbados and we got Turn A. So I wonder if they're gonna bring in any other AU units. You know, maybe gun like the Wing Zero, maybe the X or Double X Gundam, G Self. I know there's some people in the background that are probably shouting, you know, bring in the Ale Strike, and I'm like, what's that? Anyways, so that's my reaction and my thoughts to Gundam Evolved. Hope you guys enjoyed that little bit of a breakdown and my thoughts on it, and definitely, again, really looking forward to this game. Can't wait to hear more about it and when it comes out to the States or internationally. Now, if you haven't already, again, if you're watching this on Twitch, make sure to follow me on my Twitch account. If you're watching this on YouTube, like the video, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about my reaction and thoughts on this teaser trailer. What are your thoughts on this game? Are you excited? Are you pumped up like I am? Or did you not care for it all? Did it not look that interesting? Did it look too much of a clone like Overwatch? What are your thoughts? Let me know down below. And, of course, too, if you want to keep abreast about what I'm doing or when I'm going to go live with my live streams, because this is live streamed and it's going to be put on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube as well, you can follow me on my Twitter account. My Twitter account, I make announcements of when I go live, what I'm reviewing or doing next, and random things here and there. So until the next reaction or review, whichever you want to take it, I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Alright, don't leave our Twitch viewers. I am not done. Of course, that was just the closing. So when I do the cuts, it's going to go to our YouTube, or my YouTube. Could be ours. We could make a faction. Makes me think of like a Demolition Ranch, and how Matt made the Demolition. Make something like that. We could make like a Zeonic front. Oh boy. Give me one quick second here. Actually, I need to double check something real quick. Gotta clean up after the Digimons. And the wife will get mad at me if I kill her Digimon. She could care less if I kill mine, but, she goes like, honey, Zaku, you take care of my Digimon, because if you kill my Digimon, I kill you too. And I'm like, okay, honey, don't do anything to me. I'll keep your Digimon alive. You better. And she just like does this. I don't know if you ever watched Kung Fu Hustle. You know that scene? I forgot what the landlady's name. I don't think they even call her anything but landlady. She does that scene after she kicks the two musician-based martial artists, and she sits in the car with the boss of the Axe Gang, and she clenches her fist and then cracks it, and then cracks it some more. And I'm like, that was my wife to me. And I was like, okay, honey, your Digimon won't die. I'll take care of them. I'll clean them after the poo, and I'll feed them. I'll even train them. All right, so let's go ahead. Let me move. I'm like trying to like scoot over here. All right, we're gonna get everything set up here, and we're gonna be going. All right, so we'll, without further ado, hey there, and welcome to another nerdy reaction. I'm the Absolute Nerd. You can also call me Zaku. Today, I'm going to have a reaction and thoughts on the Super Robot Wars 30. Now, before I begin with anything else here, if you're watching this on Twitch, follow me on my Twitch channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, like this video, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this game, your reactions to it, what you thought about my reactions. I want to hear from you guys. Leave something down below. And if you want to keep up to date of when I actually go live, because I do live streams before I put this into YouTube, you can follow me on my Twitter account. On my Twitter account, I make sure I announce when I go live, what I'm reviewing or doing next, and of course, random things here and there. Without further ado, let's jump right into this. Now, I know that Bandai just recently announced this huge one. We're just gonna do this first look trailer here. It's nice, short, and simple. I just heard about this quite literally today. And by today, today's Saturday. So it shows it came out a few days ago. I just heard about this just recently. I'm also going to put down the volume just slightly a bit. I don't know if it was too loud on the last one or not. But let's just go ahead. We're going to watch this together. Catch some of my reactions here. And then I'm going to talk a little bit more about thoughts. And of course, my history with Super Robot Wars. Because I don't know if some of you actually had a history with it or not, but I definitely do. Anyways, let's start this. Whoa. Whoa, this is boss looking. Yeah. Okay. Loving the animation on these. Is that? Oh, why is he CCA Amuro and Gundam? But okay. What? Oh, it tells me the names right there. I should have been looking at the names. Dang it! Whoa! There's new Gundam. Yeah! It's Gundam's narrative. Ew, why do we have narrative Gundam? And Jonah, two of the worst characters. Uso. Is that the V-Dash? Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Knights and Magic. What? Yes, Magazine. Oh, come on. I want to see the finisher of that. Wait, please, Deckers? Great man! Yes! King Kings? Oh! Huckabee! Is that the Huckabee? It looks like it's the Huckabee! Oh my god! October 10th. Okay, whoa, I'm gonna slow you right down here. Oh no, let it go a little bit. Okay. Dang! Okay, so... Oh, I'm surprised they actually got that. Okay. So, you're a grid man, dude. Freaking, I'm stoked for this. All right, I had no idea about the roster. I just know. So I got the news about this. I'm looking at my news on my. I have a Pixel 5, and if you know the phone on one of the screens, you can look at news. And I was just doing just a quick little scroll, and I saw this on Polygon, and this is the exact same article I pulled up, and I only just saw oh my god, Super Robot Wars 30, and I'm like, there's a YouTube video. I'm like, okay, I haven't looked further much into this, so I want to look it over with you guys too. But my experience with Super Robot Wars, hold on, let's explore something. So what we got here is that we're going to start slowly here. My mecha knowledge is not super grandiose. I know quite a bit. Well, obviously Gundam is my main bread and butter, okay? Anything and everything about Gundam I'm pretty much in the know about. But all these other series is a little bit hard for me to not comprehend, but I'm not aware about. I watch a lot of other mecha-based series, but not by a whole lot. Like Macross or Robotech. Not that they're the same necessarily, but you get what I'm saying if you know the history behind those two series. Votoms, Gridman, not King of Kings necessarily, but Gaio Geiger. I can't say that specifically. And then Macaziner. So those are ones I'm very, very familiar. Oh, this is Macaziner Kaiser, but I'm familiar with Macaziner the original back in the 80s. Oh, let me see. Doge. There's another trailer with a few more inclusions, but it's mostly some of the OG surprises. Yes, so that was another thing I caught on too, because I also pulled up my Steam because I found out there was a pre-order for this one, and I was like, oh, I kind of spoiled a little bit of that for myself, but what I so let me just check this out right here. So I'll go ahead and just read off from the article a bit itself. So what we have here is that it's coming to the West. Finally, a Super Robot War game. Legit. Not OG or anything like that, but a legit Super Robot War game is coming to the United States. This is a big deal. For those of you who don't know, Super Robot Wars has been a long-going game since, I want to say, the 90s? Early 90s, back in the Nintendo. Obviously, it brings in a bunch of mecha franchises together and puts them all into one game, and they create like some crazy stories. I'll talk about my history with that too. But why it never came to the United States though, or like in some portions internationally as well, is that these games are infamous because of the licensing rights. And that's when I kind of like paused a little bit, like right over here, and I was kind of like amazed to see like, wow, are all these companies actually working together? But I see a lot of it's Sunrise, though. So we got Sunrise, we got Toei. I don't remember if Sunrise got absorbed by Toei. I don't think so. We got Go here. We got a few others, Clamp. So I was like, okay, so most of it is still within Sunday's Bandai Namco's control, but we also still got the other series. Again, big issues with the Super Robot War games has always been licensing, because these are all different franchises from different companies or production companies. So in Japan, I don't know how they get away with it. I don't know the history specifically, how they do it basically, but it's more of a collaboration. But when they get outside of that and coming to the international portion, it becomes far, far, far worse. Trying to get the rights to secure and then just basically producing a game or putting a game out here like that, because then the money has to be distributed, because anime from Japan is different than how anime is in the United States. And for those not in the know, when it comes to the States, we got other distributing companies. So then it becomes licensing rates not only with what's in Japan, but what's in the States as well. So Funimation might fight over the rights, or you get Viz fighting over the rights. I'm just throwing out names out there for an example, right? But you get different companies fighting over for different rights, which then already stem from here. So it creates more issues. They never release a Super Robot Wars game of natural nature. And I say natural nature because I'm talking about like all these different series. Now, Super Robot Wars did come out to the United States a couple of times. That my main recollection of it coming to the States were the OG games that came out on the Game Boy Advance, specifically OG Generation and Original Generation and Original Generation 2. That's not my only experiences with Super Robot Wars, because actually, let's go to history for fun. My history with Super Robot Wars, I played them ages ago when I was a kid on the Game Boy. My cousins, who came, I think, from Thailand or something, I can't remember, they brought with them like these like super like 7-in-1 games, or like 30-in-1 cart games for the Game Boy. It would have like a bunch of like different video games, like different Game Boy games, right? And like ones I would remember, like there's this like 25-in-1 where it had like a Sailor Moon game, Power Rangers game, Yu Yu Hakusho, and several Mega Man games. Not so several, but like a lot of them. Like so Mega Man 3, 4, 5, from what I can remember. And of course, Super Robot Wars. I played 3 different ones on 3 different carts. I don't know what their names are specifically because they were all in Japanese. I don't know Japanese or read Japanese, but I played the game and I somehow played it sufficiently enough where I got from beginning to end. Even doing some fun features too, like, because like it's fun that they mention some of these mobile suits here. Because I remember when I was playing some of the Super Robot War games, some of my favorite characters from them were like characters from like Getter Robo or from Mechazener, because they do like a lot of these crazy strong super attacks. The Gundam series ones weren't always my favorite, but some of the ones I remembered that I liked a lot. I remember Zeta and Double Zeta Gundam because like the character units, you can see there's like a Zeta Gundam's head and then the Z, and then on ZZ, you can barely see his head, but you see ZZ for sure. ZZ was like a super strong like unit with really good specials, and then I like Zeta because I somehow figured out how to transform him, and it doesn't like some turn. It's a turn-based game, so some games when you do certain actions, it's permanent and you can't unchange until the next turn, right? But with the Zeta Gundam, I can change it to Wave Rider or change it back to a mobile suit. And that was the one thing I really, really liked about the Zeta Gundam, because I would transform it into the Wave Rider, and it can go to a much further distance than most of the other like robots or suits. Additionally, too, it had really, really good evasion on it. So like usually I would fight against like other like, maybe if some of you would know this, like some of the earlier monsters that I can remember, they look like dinosaurs, like a three-headed Hydra, a weird flying monster, some weird alien-looking designs too. I don't know what they are. I've never seen them before besides in the Super Robot War games. But I remember them when they're trying to do their attacks, like some of them look like O-rings or like, you know, like laser fires, whatnot. The Zeta Gundam just like zips. It just evades or dodges the shots, which I absolutely loved about the Zeta Gundam. Though when it does get hit, it gets taken out pretty easily. Other units I really did like in those games too were like F90 and F91. I don't know how to describe, because the F91 was like a super powerhouse kind of a unit, and then F91 was like, it did beam rifles and stuff like that. I remember doing the special, which I didn't realize was the VSBR, the twin VSBRs that it has, but it also had really good evasion on it too, akin to like almost the Zeta Gundam. So those are some of the things I really remembered. Oh, let me see what you got in here, Doge. I really enjoyed the ZZ and the Hi-Nu. They had some super fun attacks. G-Stuff was also pretty neat. So you played probably the other like non-released ones, probably like the ones that came out like on the PSPs or PS Vita, if I'm not mistaken here. I think there was also some that came out only in Japan, like PlayStation 3 with the Super Robot War games. Because when you mentioned about G-Self, I'm like, oh, that's definitely new. At least in the last few years, which, if I'm not mistaken here, there was a couple that came out on the PS3. Obviously, never came out here on the States, which makes me sad. But, so like that was my experience as a kid. I was like 9, 10 when I played those games. They were totally fun in Japanese. Barely could understand what I was doing or what's going on. I just remember like I can do certain functions with suits. I remember one of the games or two, I guess, from what I can interpret as an adult here, there was capturing or like befriending them, right? So you can capture certain enemy units and you can use them again in the future, because if you lose a unit, kind of like Fire Emblem rules, you lose a unit, they're gone for good. And then I remember in some of the other games, if I lost a unit, they are still alive. Like, they're part of the story, so they can't die. So it was kind of hard to figure out or remember what was killable or what you can lose, basically. But I had a lot of fun playing those games when I was a kid. And then when I heard about Super Robot Wars OG coming out on Game Boy Advance, definitely jumped on those. I was sad, though, and that's how I found out about all this licensing ordeals that goes on with Super Robot Wars, because when I bought Super Robot Wars OG, I thought it was gonna have like Gundam and stuff like that, or like Macazina or Get a Robo. None of that. It was called the Original Generation for a reason, because it was original generation. It had only original suits or mechas, robots, however you want to put it. Nothing from any established anime whatsoever. So that being said, and kind of jumping over to here, I was excited because, like, the one suit that I saw in here, where is it? Because it said OG. I don't remember Edge. Edge may be familiar, but this looks like the Hucklebee. Oops, come on, let me go back. Yeah, it does look like the Hucklebee, because, like, if I remember right, the Hucklebee has, like, so certain suits obviously have, like, certain specials or certain weapons that they can only use to themselves. You can't unequip them and put them on a different suit. And the Hucklebee had this one disc thing that I akin it to, like, the Predator disc from Predator 2 or whatnot. And it's a nice medium damage mid-range. It was, like, 2 to 4 squares out, so you can't hit anything close, but 2 squares after up to 4, it would hit. And it did quite a bit of damage, and I think it ignored defense or something like that. I can't remember, but it was pretty cool. But Huckleberry design is very neat looking. It reminds me of the Gundam, but this one, I don't recall it looking like that too much, but I could be calling it wrong, but I remember it was like the Huckleberry or Hucklebee. It's been forever since I played the OG games. I think I played that back in high school. Back in high school or no, not middle school. It was high school or towards my college years, but it was a lot of fun. So what I spoiled myself when I went, I don't know if it's going to have it on here. Yeah, I wish it had Votoms or Zoids. That would be cool too. I've never played anyone that had Big O in it, but then again, that would be like more of the modern ones. I would love that. Played with Big O. People might get upset, or mecha fans might get upset. I don't care for Evangelion, so I don't care for the Eva units. I'm pretty sure they would be powerhouses, though. I'd be kind of questioning how well they would fight, because they would dwarf a lot of the real robot suits, and like maybe like Mac Zener or Getter Robo, because they're pretty big suits themselves, or big robots. So maybe Zoids, like no, not Zoids, but still, these would be pretty cool to see. Virtual On, that's a name I haven't heard in forever. I haven't heard of that since I played, like, the last time I played Virtual On was, like, at Nickel when I was, like, 11 or 12. That was a fun little mecha joystick kind of a game, fighting game. It's really cool. Oh, there's more. Did it not list off all of that here? Oh, no, it did. But it does have Code Geass. I guess I didn't really recognize that either. I don't know how Code Geass would play well with a lot of these huge suits. But then again, I would say the same thing with Gundam itself in general, like a lot of the UC suits. Oh, Doge. I might be fine to do some reactions of some of the recent game attacks sometime, provided it's safe. Yeah, I don't know. I'll definitely have to take a look into that, because I know, like, I've seen some of their, like, specials. That's why I'm like, I think there's one on the PlayStation 3. Correct me if I'm wrong, Doge, but from what I remember is that I saw a couple of them, and you were mentioning with High Nu, which is funny because they had High Nu with the fin funnels for it. Like there was a special with, wasn't Amuro the pilot? I think I can't be certain, or maybe I'm thinking of Cross Generations, because while Super Robot Wars never really came out to the States, really, we did get something similar to it just recently too. I would say in the last year and a half. I wanted to say I didn't remember the year, but on Steam there is a not Super Roll, or like Super SD Cross Generations. I haven't picked that one up yet because it's so near full price. I have a hard time picking up full price games. This game, though, I know it's like, what, $60? It says it. So yeah, it's $60. I'm debating on getting the deluxe. I can't justify the ultimate, though, because as much as I want the music and whatnot, I'm like, I can't justify dropping that much money on a game. $80 is pushing it. It doesn't show it here. So, I don't want to pop up my Steam or anything like that, but, I know that the pre-order bonuses for this game, the Super Robot Wars OG or original generations that they brought in is the SRX robot and the Psybuster. So I was excited to see those two, and I was like kind of like hoping like, and forgive me if I'm mispronouncing the names wrong, but I wish they had also brought in the Altrician and the West Ritter. West Rider? I can't pronounce their names. The ones that Kyo and forgot her name too. But the main pilots of the first game, I really like their suits. I would love to see them. Even though they had the SRX, I didn't really care for the SRX or the team itself. It's one of those combiner robots, kind of like Voltron-esque, but it's 3 suits put into one. Not bad though. It's kind of cool. I like its specials though. It's really nice, but But I would still totally do it, especially for the additional 30 missions. I don't know how I feel about in-game currency, though. I don't know how that's going to work in this game. That's one thing I'm kind of questioning. Like, how are you going to put, like, real-world currency in a Super Robot War game? Most of them are turn-based. Like it says right here, like, turn-based tactical... Oh, it's a tactical strategy game, but it's turn-based. Turn-based strategy game what could you really put on there? Like more like pay to win kind of things or whatnot. And obviously these are single player based games, so you're not going to get something that's multiplayer. So I don't really see how this is going to come in. This in-game currency is going to come into play. Kind of curious, but who knows? Maybe like you can buy like upgrades or something. But I'm really excited. Some of the specials that, because usually whenever I see videos like this, it's usually you'll see their specials. So a lot of them look really, really cool. Excited to see some of them too. Glad to see the new. Unfortunately, it's not the high new. I would love to see the high new because that's my favorite. But it did say MSV. I can't tell because it only says MSV. I can't tell if that's gonna be Gundam based, like original Mobile Suit Gundam MSV. So we'll see suits like the Zaku Cannon, or like an original GM Sniper, or a Zaku Marine. You see Doge. I think the two recent games were on the PS4 and the Steam, and the latest one for PS4 and the Switch. Oh, there's one on the Switch? English translated, but not Western releases. I can get behind that because I know that there's a community out there for Super Robot War games where they would translate stuff. I mean, that's like that for a lot of what I feel like a lot of Japanese-based games where they don't get U.S. releases. Never really got involved with a whole lot of those communities. The closest one I would say I got close to was like Monster Hunter, because really wanted to, at the time, my friend and I really wanted to play Portable Third, and that was the one that we actually got involved in the community, got the devices and stuff like that so we can play, and then download the emulators and stuff like that for it. So that was the only thing I could think of back then. Now I haven't really had too much time, but this is gonna be, at least to me, it seems like it's going to be a blast from the past. We're seeing a lot of the specials. We're not seeing the actual, like, grid layout. So I'm kind of curious how that's going to look. And how that's going to come off. Like, come off, like, would it look like the traditional kind of, like, look where it's just, like, the icon on there? Are we going to see, like, little miniatures or whatnot? Are they going to make it 3D based? Kind of curious. It's funny enough, with the other Super Wars I saw the trailers for back in a long time ago too, we only see the specials, but we don't see the actual layout of how the board is set up, if that makes sense. Really, really awesome. I can't wait. I don't often drop money on games at full price. I usually am a vulture, and I will wait forever. There are some games that I don't mind, like, picking up right away, like I did with Monster Hunter for Monster Hunter Rise recently. Sorry. But definitely I will not have an issue dropping at least $60 on Super Robot Wars. That's why I'm like, I'm not too sure whether or not I'm going to pick up the standard version or the deluxe, because I don't have to find a way to justify it. I can get away with a standard. I'm going to have to justify this with the wife. That I'm going to have to justify. That's the only one I'm going to have a hard time with. There's no way I will have a snowball's chance in the halls of Hades to, offer this up and ask, honey, can I get the ultimate version of a classic nostalgic game I haven't played in, like, 3 decades? Yeah? And I can just, again, goes right back to that she's going to look at me and then just, like, crackle her fist and then crackle it again. And I'm like, okay, hon. Let me see, anything else? Okay. I can't tell, like, I thought it scrolled up for a second. But yeah, this looks really, really cool. I like a lot of the specials. Let me just go back and let's highlight some of the specials. Getter Robo looks so ridiculous. I want to go. Where's Gridman? Gridman was awesome. Yes, to Gridman. Yes, Gridman. Let me see that special again. I'll lower it down a bit. Oh, it's too short-lived. But I hope there's gonna be more with that. Go. That's a basic. It will. This is very similar animation to what I can remember, just not as mobile times. Like you would see, like the disc come by and smack them good. We did get the Hainu. I was like, okay, so we got something new, and they put in narrative. God. Oh, so boring too. And they have Jonah in here. Why? If you guys had watched my my Gundam narrative review, spoilers, not spoilers. It's not so favorable. It's not bad or whatnot, but I thought that the narrative Gundam, this is the first form of the narrative Gundam, and I thought, I mean, it was a cool design, but only using this? Why not like all the rockets and missiles and whatnot? Only that? Come on. But we also have Jonah here, and he's just a wet tissue, a wet paper towel to me. He's like wet paper. He's just such a boring character. So why do we put him in here? I thought it was kind of interesting. I pointed that out earlier too. We saw the original Gundam, and it was CCA Amuro. Cause like look, that's all right, but this is CCA. Like he looks a little more adultish here too, like with his face, obviously, because it's Char's Counterattack Amuro, not 0079 Amuro. But it makes sense though, because when we later on come here, we actually got new Gundam. Oh, we don't even see like a fin spin or like fin funnel or not fin. It is the funnel Spanish or anything like that, but don't get any of that. That's okay. A lot of the specials look really, really cool. Very, very stylish. Go away, narrative. Where's the V2? They didn't do the twin cannons or something like that. Oh well. I mean, it's hit and miss. But I'm pretty sure they're just showing just the base level. There's probably a whole lot more in this game that they're not showing off. I'd be excited to see more, and I can't wait to get my hands on this game. It looks absolutely awesome. So October 28th. 3 months and 11 days. I'm just rounding it off, looking at the calendar here. 3 months and 11 days. I can wait that long. Doge. Some people are pretty miffed that narrative made it in as opposed to Iron Blood Orphan. I can agree with you there. I'm surprised. You know what it would be weird though is like they put a narrative Gundam, but maybe like I don't know like the production time frames, right? Or like how long it takes for them to design the game and create it. Maybe at the time frame when they made this and the licensing that they did at that point was a few years ago, and the newest entry in the Gundam franchise was narrative. Because if anything, if this was being done as of like the last year or so, it would make sense if they would pull something from Gundam Hathaway, right? Where we had the Gigi Gundam or Penelope Gundam. I agree with you on Iron-Blooded Orphan, though, because I would love to see Barbados, like either 4th or 6th form, throw in Lupus, or Lupus Rex. I would love to see those. I even like Vidar's suits, too, the Chimaris Vidar. Or throw in the Gushin Rebake, or Full Metal City, I think that's what it was called for the final one. Can't remember off the top of my head. I only saw Iron-Blooded Orphan once, but we're going to be going into that, I'm not going to say anytime soon. But let me go ahead and end it off here. Well, not the stream, of course, but let me just close off this video. So that's my thoughts and reaction to Super Robot Wars 30. Definitely super excited, looking absolutely forward to this series, or this game to finally come out to the States. Finally to the States. Nothing holding it back, hopefully. With that all said, do want to thank you guys for watching again. If you're watching this on Twitch, follow me on my Twitch channel. Watching it on YouTube, like this video, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about my reaction, my thoughts on this game trailer here. Your thoughts, your reactions to it. Are you excited? Are you amped up like I am? Did you not care? Are you disappointed? Are you happy about some of the robots or suits that are appearing in this game? Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. And of course, if you want to keep up to date with what I'm doing here or when I'm going live, follow me on my Twitter account. Twitter account. I make announcements when I go live, when I'm going to be reviewing next, and of course, random things here and there. That said, again, thanks again for watching this react, and until the next react or review, I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Alright, and I'm not 100% done. This is for the live stream portion here. We're gonna come to a close here. I'm surprised I've actually kept this relatively short too. We're only been at an hour 44 minutes. Usually I go on much longer. I tend to ramble too much. But yeah, so far, like I mentioned before, we finally finished off with G Rico. As my review puts it out there, I was not excited for this series, really. It was funny because I went into the series kicking and screaming like I went into ZZ Gundam or G Savior. But unlike those two, I actually left a little bit more content, a little bit happier, because this was actually a little bit of an improved series compared to those two. I mean, giving it a 2 out of 5 says something about it. It could have been, could have stayed at a 1 out of 5. But, definitely, I'm glad I did come back to watch this again and give it a second chance. Like I said in the review, it was a fun watch. Not something I would recommend, and definitely not a show worthy of time necessarily. Of course, there's plenty of other Gundam franchise, like series in the franchise, that are far superior than this. I would only say really watch this if you're a completionist like myself, and not as a UC elitist, but I'm just talking about like a Gundam completionist overall. So yes, watching the entire Gundam franchise, yeah, that's one I would recommend. Other than that, it's generally a series I would just say pass on it. Don't bother with it. Whoops. Let me do. I don't know why I have it on minimized here. Now I did start watching. I finished Rico Thursday, and I just started up Turn A yesterday on Friday. Definitely how I remember, because I just like Rico, I've only watched Turn A once. So I'm excited to rewatch this one because I actually have good memories of watching Turn A. Although I did come into it kicking and screaming again because I will note this. I'm noting this alongside because I took notes because I will be doing a video shortly regarding these two. I will be covering basically which one you should watch first. So I took some extensive notes here regarding G Rico. And I'm taking notes as I'm watching Turn A to see whether or not, was I right? Was I wrong? Because I originally had watched this in the order that I remembered to be. I watched Turn A first, and I watched G Rico. For this franchise run, I am watching G Rico. I watched Rico G first, and I'm watching this next. So it's exactly how I remember it to be for the most part. Nice, slow, methodically paced. Enjoying it for the most part right now. Not quite halfway through the series. I think I just only watched 13 episodes. That's a grind. Yeah. Anywho, so I'm on Turn A right now. So definitely by next week, hopefully I should finish up Turn A. It is a 50 episode. Here's the second volume. I didn't pull it out. It is a 50 episode series, so it's going to take me a lot longer. And if Rico G took me 3 days, because I started on Monday, 3 days to watch that, I got a day's advance on Turn A. I might be able to finish it up by Friday. I think. I'm going to try. That being said, when I finish it, I want to do a video regarding those two. I'm not too sure because I've been having some plans for the stream itself and my channel. So I'm on the concept right now of I'm going to expand a little bit more because it's funny, I talk about this because doing the live stream reviews that I've been doing so far and cutting them up ever so slightly and putting them up on YouTube has bolstered a lot of my confidence back into, creating content again, because I really love reviewing stuff and creating content. Unfortunately, YouTube makes it very, very difficult. Twitch kind of helps and kind of doesn't at the same time. But I want to do kind of similar to what I used to do with my Solid reviews, more specifically with the Dragon Ball Super ones, if you watch that. and try to do something akin to that one, but not fully to that extent. Maybe, incorporate like live streaming actions and footage, maybe slight footage, or maybe just still images. But I wanted to do that a little bit more, and I wanted to redo some of the videos I did. But redo videos I have already done. I'm probably thinking about redoing a lot of my reviews in the format that I'm talking about. I also want to do, the comparison between these two, and really go off of talking about a video about. I might do it live stream wise, or I think I really want to try and do it live stream wise first, and then I might do a refined video because I'm definitely going to be refining all these videos in the future. I just want to finish up what I'm doing first because I know. For those who are not in the know or don't do YouTube videos or create content in general, and I'm a prior filmmaker in the past. I say in the past because that was my previous career. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and I know that the stuff that I want to do for the newer videos is going to require a lot more time and effort. It's going to be akin to what like I mentioned with my solid reviews, where I'm pulling footage. I'm going to be compiling and editing things together. So I don't want that to take the steam from me, what I'm doing right now. These live stream reviews are very, very helpful. They're giving me that boost of like, hey, I'm still doing stuff. I need to put out content regardless of the quality necessarily. I mean, I do have some decent quality, camera and audio here. Very lackadaisical, more free-flowing of how I provide this content, but it's still providing it out there. And then when I want to, because I would like to revisit this and then recreate everything, because I have everything notated wise, and I would definitely love to make a more refined review system. Because I know some of you guys are not caring too much about me rambling on or whatnot. And you want me to get me to the finer points about what makes these series good or not. And for right now, with the Gundam franchise, I'm just trying to avoid spoilers, with the exception of the first couple of reviews I did. They were kind of spoiler-esque. After that, I'm just staying away from spoilers because I'm trying to encourage you guys to watch the Gundam franchise. I mean, there's so much to enjoy right now. And just to give you guys kind of like, again, the schedule right now, we are now out of the UC Century, literally out of the UC Century. We finished up with Reguild. We're now going to be moving on closer to the AU stuff. So, at this point, I can confidently say, UC Century, we're done. We're out of there. We're out of the UC timeline. So UC Century done. We went to the Reguild Century. That's completed. Turn A Gundam will tie everything together. So basically, to give you guys that context, it's the end all of all Gundam series. It is the stopping point of the entire Gundam franchise. You can watch everything up until your heart's content, right? But if you're going to leave the Gundam franchise, you're going to stop it. You stop here at Turn A, because Turn A is the one that ties everything together, taking centuries, millennia, however you want to put it, after the fact of all these other series, and they somehow restart on things. But after Turn A, we're going to go into AU. We're going to go into a lot of the 90s-based animes, which I'm excited. So I wanted to do the franchise run where we were doing the UC Century first, or UC Timeline. Now we're going to venture into the AUs. I don't have all of them out because I don't want to leave stuff on my desk and piss off my wife any more than I already do by leaving my Blu-rays on her disc so I can, have everything ready for a review. Oh, my wife loves me and she tolerates me. So what we have here, I have G Gundam next after Turn A. I'm really excited for this. It's the Street Fighter of Gundam, for those of you who are not in the know. Afterwards, we're going to go to the most famous. Any 90s kid, late 90s kid will know this, with Gundam Wing and Endless Waltz. And then we got the Gundam X. After Gundam X, because I don't have the Blu-rays out here right now, we will continue onward into AU series. And I think after that, Skipping Seed. Sorry, I had a sneeze right there. We're gonna go right into Gundam 00, I believe, and after Gundam 00, we go into Age. After Age, and I have a movie for that too. we go into... I'm going off of my head here. Go into... dang it. It's off the top of my head. Iron-Blooded Orphan. After Iron-Blooded Orphan, we're going to go into the Build series, which they are diverging because some of them are in the same universe, some of them aren't on the same universe, whatever. It's going to be kind of confusing and weird, but we're going to get there. Now, I kind of jokingly dismiss Seed because I hate Seed. Sorry, not sorry. I just have a very bad history with Seed. I had a rant of Seed ages ago, which I took down because I don't feel like that reflects how I feel about it today. And I don't want people to have the wrong idea or get the wrong thought process going. So, and I'm also trying to clean up my YouTube channel just so that way it's a little bit more accessible for people. For those you don't know, I am a very foul-mouthed person, but, you know, you get the worker version of me, so not as foul. But maybe I'll do another video on Seed, ascertain of why I really hate Seed. But I know some people have told me, like, Briston, you should give it a shot. Yeah, that's my name. I don't care. That's what I said. I don't know how I want to go over it. Like, my name, either Absolute Nerd. Again, I changed my name just for the sake of trying to avoid using my handle too much. But I switched it from Solid Zaku to Absolute Nerd. And I go by I have my actual name, but I don't care. It's like, my actual name, my real name's Briston, so it's already weird to say it right. And then my handle... My handle for a lot of my sub names is Zaku, so that's already weird enough already. So it's like, I don't know, I got two weird names, but who knows? I'm terrible at branding. I'm not much of a branding person as much as a content creator. So I do the work, not the thinking necessarily, not the marketing of it all. That being said, where was I going? I got lost. Again, I ramble. So with my content, trying to keep everything clean on the channel here. I know, as I said, I'm doing this because I'm going through the entire Gundam franchise, yet I'm skipping out a very small portion of the franchise. Some people have argued saying it's actually kind of big, because like I had some people come and told me like, hey Zaku, this is what got me into Gundam. And I'm like, I get it, that's the second wave in the United States, but that's not what got me into Gundam and all that jazz. Besides, I really got upset about that wave. But I have respect for, and you know, it has influences up to this point in the Gundam franchise itself too. So I was still thinking about it. Ooh, excuse me, apologize. I had a lot of people keep on talking to me about it, like, hey, Zaku, you should really do the review for Seed. So I found a way to actually find it, because as I mentioned in the past, I want to review it when I have the physical copies of them. And no, I didn't want to review the DVD copies I have of Seed and Seed Destiny, because I don't want to dig them up, because they're buried even furthermore than what I had for my Blu-rays. But I found another way of watching Seed and Seed Destiny, because I know the Right Stuff is going to be releasing the HD remaster of Seed coming up in October, or is it August? I can't remember. One of those two. I'm a little bit iffy. If I get enough people to encourage me, and I'm tired of hearing some of my friends giving me flack, I want to hear from you guys. So those who are watching it in the stream, or watch the live stream recording on YouTube, seriously, leave me a comment down below, or hit me up on Twitter and DM me. I'm going to try and see about creating a Facebook channel too, just so it's a little bit more accessible for everybody else who doesn't use Twitter. I just use Twitter because it's more of a convenience than anything else. I don't have to really care too much. It's easier to make announcements and set things up than it is on Facebook, how I feel. But honestly, if you guys really want me to review Seed, please keep bashing me over the head over it. Say, Zaku, review Seed. Don't skip it. Because technically, right after X Gundam, which came out in 95, 96... we finished a lot of the UC Century stuff already, so we don't have to worry about that. Turn A Gundam, which came out in 99, we're reviewing it. I'm watching it right now. We're going to be reviewing it next week. After that, Seed came after. So if I'm following the franchise timeline, kind of release or whatnot, I can do that, or I can do much later on. It doesn't matter where I watch any of the AU stuff, as long as I watch the AU stuff together. So I'm not gonna watch Seed and then watch G Gundam and then watch Seed Destiny afterwards. No, I'm gonna keep everything keep all my ducks in a row, basically. But definitely, if you guys really, really want me to watch Seed, want me to torture myself, or maybe have a change in opinion because everyone thinks like, oh man, Zaku, your opinion dated. You haven't watched it in like almost 2 decades. You should really rewatch it again. And I'm like, no, I really don't want to rewatch it again unless there's a good reason. And if I can get enough people to tell me, Zaku, review it. We want to hear what you have to say about it. Make me change my mind. I'll do it. I think that's the sound of my wife at the door. So, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and actually end the live stream here. So, yes, this is the end, guys. And just like I've been saying in a lot of the other video segments, too, watching on Twitch, follow me on my Twitch account. You're watching this on YouTube and you're catching the recording of this, like this video. Subscribe to my channel. And leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think overall. If you didn't watch any of the individual segments, like, let me know what you thought about my opinions, my reviews, my reactions. It's funny, I'm pointing over here, but I don't have the screen up. like I did this. But let me know what you guys think. And definitely, if you really want me to review Seed, leave a comment down below. Zaku, review Seed. Absolute Nerd, review Seed. Leave that comment down below. I'm not going to get mad. I'm just going to get mad when I have to watch it. But yes, please leave a comment down below. And of course, if you want to keep up to date with me, follow me on my Twitter account. I, again, post when I go live, what I review next. And of course, random things here and there. I am thinking about creating my Facebook page, so I know some of you want to have a little more accessibility with Facebook. I'll do that. Some people have pitched to me Instagram. I don't take pictures really, so okay, that's a lie. I was a photographer, but I don't take pictures recently, and I don't really have models besides my little Gundam Converge stuff on my mantle here. I don't think you guys can see it, really. Let me pop it over a little bit. You see that right there? There's my Gundam Converge stuff right there. I messed my camera up just a smidgen. Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah, you can follow me on those 3 sources so far. I'll keep you guys updated if I make anything else. Yeah, and expect, hopefully I'll have Turn A Gundam completed by next week. And, I might do a twofer if I have enough time, where I will do the Turn A Gundam review, and I will definitely do the, not definitely, I will do the differences if I should watch Rico G or Turn A first. And, again, giving you some of those updates of, refining a lot of these videos. But again, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I don't even know if my wife's out the door now. But one last thing, and I want to leave you guys with just, words of advice or whatnot. So it's kind of funny. I'm going to ramble a little bit here, too. I'm supposed to end it here, but I just want to ramble a little bit. I know a lot of people want to be like, like content creators or YouTubers or Twitch streamers and stuff like that. And it's not easy. I mean, I'm nowhere near anywhere big or anything like that. I don't ever think I'm going to be that big. I hope I do. I'm going to keep trying. Gotta keep trying. That's what I'm trying to say, though, is for those of you who are interested or wanting to try and do this and stuff like that, I'm going to give you a page from Matt Carricker, the main man from Demolition Ranch. I was watching his vlogs on Off the Ranch, one of his other sub-channels, which is pretty big too. And one of the things that got me starting doing all this again, all my live stream reviews or whatnot, it's alongside with that too, but it's just doing something every single day, right? So what he says, like, make it a challenge for yourself. Every single day, do something. It doesn't have to be grandiose or big. It doesn't have to be perfect or absolute, but just something small that you can feel proud of or happy that you accomplished. It could be something as simple as I cleaned up the trash or I cleaned up my room, or you can make it furthermore. I finally organized all this, like, I organized my collection. I fixed up my car. I had busted sides to my car. I finally got that fixed up. Or I finally made a trip to this one location I've been wanting to go see for a while. Those sort of things. And for me, I took that to heart. I making an effort every single day just to make small changes, small accomplishments, right? Because I'm a huge perfectionist, and it bothers me to death when I don't get something right or I don't get it absolutely perfect right, and I am self defeating in that manner. So that was really really key to me, and I wanted to extend it and share it to you guys. Find the small things that you've been wanting to do, or find things that you've been wanting to do. Not caring how perfect or good it is, do it every day. Something small, even could be the most smallest or stupidest thing, but as long as that you're proud and happy about it. Me, I make it a challenge every single day that I'm pounding through these episodes and writing down notes and trying to compile cohesive and coherent reviews. Yes, my live stream reviews are not 100% coherent because I am reading off just cliff notes and I'm giving you my thoughts on it without being too spoilerly or whatnot, but definitely it's going to be coming back in the future because all of this is going to compile towards making newer content, like I just told you not too long ago, and that's going to be my next step. Like even today, my accomplishment for today is I'm doing this live stream review. I'm being consistent every single Saturday. I'm gonna do a live stream review, not just do a stream, not just do content creation. I'm gonna do a live stream review. So I'm being consistent with you guys who watch live every single time. I'm being consistent with you guys who are watching this on YouTube. I really appreciate you guys as viewers, and I really appreciate the follows and the likes. And I can only encourage you guys to find the small things that you need to accomplish in your life. The ones that you can be proud of, accomplish them. Every day, make a new goal, accomplish it. That's what I'm doing here. That's what I'm trying to do with all my content creating stuff. Be it if I ever get big or not, who knows, but I'm going to keep doing my thing. But this is my accomplishment today. And I challenge you to have an accomplishment for today, tomorrow, and every day after that. Much love and respect, everybody. So, again, I want to thank you so much for watching my live stream here and sticking around for this last little ramble that I have. Until the next live stream review, I'll see you guys next time. Take care.